That's so cool. Well, you mentioned Madonna, right? And I know you're a huge fan of her, and you got the chance to meet her once, or maybe a couple times. I'm not sure. What was it like meeting her for the first time, and like, what was it like being in her presence, and like her knowing who you are? Like, what was that like?
Um, I mean, it was surreal, definitely, because it's one of those moments that you literally dream about, and then you're getting to live your dream. Only it didn't really go according to my dreams because I felt like so dumb. I felt like such an idiot. Like I just didn't know what to say. I was awkward and uncomfortable. Like if I met Madonna now, I'm like, I've been doing what I do for 20 years, basically. Like, what's up? How you
Right.
been? Girl, what's going on with your Instagram?
I
Like,
know.
I would literally just, have a conversation with her as if she were a human being. But when I was young, she wasn't a human being to me. She was like a god. She was perhaps my biggest role model and inspiration, not just because I loved her music, but also because, I really resonated with the messaging that she said consistently throughout her career, which is, I may not be the prettiest, I may not be the most talented, but I work really hard. And, as a child of immigrants, a child of two Cubans that fled communism to start in this country all over again and, build something out of nothing, that was something that I grew up hearing as well. So it really landed, and it gave me hope, and I learned a lot from Madonna, to be fearless and not be afraid, specifically to be a provocateur, that's an important role that society needs, people to push the envelope.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned her Instagram right now, and I wanted to ask you, like, because I feel like nowadays she's kind of lost in the shuffle of icons, like, and I feel like she does not get like the credit she deserves, and I feel like it's partly
That's
because
her
of,
own doing, though.
yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. Like, I feel like it's partly because of what she's doing now and like how she handles
Not
herself
just because of
nowadays.
social media. It's for many reasons. One, there came a shift. I mean, Madonna's mainly always been this way, but she is stuck in the past in some ways, meaning she always used to be very forward thinking, but she's stuck in the past in terms of Madonna thinks she's still as popular and relevant as she was 25, 30 years ago. And she's not, unfortunately. She's still an icon, but she doesn't have the pull. And she's historically, over the last 5 to 7 years, really mistreated and disrespected her fans in many ways, I would say, from starting her concerts painfully late, especially on weeknights. Madonna's fans are old. They're parents. They have to wake up to go work the next morning. And she's literally starting her show at 10:15 p.m. And then it's a 2-hour show and being done at 12:15 a.m. And then they have to get home. Like, that's just disrespectful and rude. There's no need for it. Or things like, then when you do go see her in concert, I get it. She's fighting so hard against being a legacy act, but she's not relevant anymore musically. She can release the best album of her career, and there will not be any hit songs off of it. Radio will not play it. She's too old, unfortunately. We live in a very ageist society, and like I said, it could be the best material she's ever done. It could be all bangers and they won't be hits. And she doesn't play the hits on tour. And people
Yeah.
go see her because they want to see the hits. They don't want 75% new material. Like, I get it. It doesn't even need to be, Some legacy artists do 75% old material and just 25% new material, but at least have it be, at this point, it needs to be 50-50, I would say. Like
Yeah, at least.
50% of your set list old songs and 50% new songs, if not more. And Madonna knows that, and she's a selfish artist, and she doesn't want to give the people what they want. She still wants to be the provocateur and do what she wants, and you know, in a way, take her fans for granted. But look at what happened. I don't think her last tour was a theater tour necessarily by choice.
Yeah.
I don't think it was just by choice, but she could always turn that around. If Madonna did a Vegas residency where it was just the hits, it would re-spark things and remind everybody, fudge, she created it all. She did it before everybody else did it, and did it so well. But she will never do a Vegas residency, unfortunately.
Like even now that like things are like everyone's doing Vegas. You just saw Katy Perry in Vegas. Like everyone's doing Vegas. You don't think she's?
I mean, the thing is, she could even do like a very limited, like Madonna is so big. If she wanted to do a Vegas residency at the arena, at the T-Mobile Arena, she could do that.
Yeah.
But she won't want to do it. And if she does do a Vegas residency at the T-Mobile Arena, she'll be like, fine, but it's not going to be a greatest hits show. And like, nobody's going to want to pay for that. Nobody wants that. You need to do a fucking greatest hits show. 1 or 2 new songs, and the rest have to be hits. And she has so many hits.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully she does something, because unfortunately, time's running out, and I don't want her to be like lost in the show. Like you think of like Prince, Whitney.
It doesn't even need to be in Vegas, to be honest. Like
New York City.
You know, Billy Joel did a residency in New York City in Madison Square Garden for a long time. I think he was playing there. Maybe what was it, once a month, or I forget. I forget how often he was doing it. But Madonna could do a once a month Madison Square Garden residency because she lives in New York City, allegedly. I think that's where, who knows where she's based out of these days. I think New York.
Yeah.
She was in Portugal for a bit, but I think she's back in New York. If she wanted to do a monthly residence, but Madonna couldn't do a monthly residency in New York City because her show requires, for safety reasons even, it requires rehearsal, and it needs to be fresh in her mind and the dancers' minds and everybody. And you just can't take a month off and expect, I mean, you can, but then you might have to do like a week of rehearsal every month, you know. But do you want to do a week of rehearsal? Maybe Madonna actually would enjoy doing a week of rehearsal every month. I feel like just doing Vegas twice a year, she could do 14 shows total, 7 shows each time. Take 1 night off in between shows. So you're in Vegas for 3 weeks, 1 week of rehearsal, 2 weeks of shows. That's your 7 shows. Come back 6 months later for another 3 weeks. And, you know, that's kind of easy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
thought about these things.
Yeah. Hopefully she figures it out. She'll take your advice, maybe.
I mean, she's Madonna, though. Even though she's done a piss poor job of maintaining her legacy, nobody can erase her past. Nobody can take away everything that she's done. On the flip side, somebody that's done an exceptional job of not only maintaining their legacy and status, but honing it and improving it and lifting themselves up is Celine Dion. Celine Dion has always been an A-lister, but I feel like, you know, because of her people-pleasing ways and not taking herself seriously and having a big heart and just giving the people what they want, she's really elevated herself.